Best things up for us. We are going to start on Black Belly Skate Park Splat Zones. This is one that I know a lot of people love. It's one that hasn't changed a ton from Splatoon 1, and there are a number of different ways you can attack it. Let's take a look right now. I see a Dynamo already out here, the Kensa Dynamo, and there's Xenia on that spooky blaster, as you called it.
Yeah, we see like Xenia on that blaster, hopefully going to be taking control of top mid. And Vanessa actually on the Kensa Dynamo, hopefully taking advantage of that new Booyah Bomb. But
this really is a battle of, I think, getting whatever weapon you want on the top and then slowly pushing your team forward out of that while your frontliner comes and pushes forward, right? You can't stay back there and stay passive. You have to find a way to contribute even if you're not a traditionally aggressive weapon.
Yeah, that's actually 3 down on the side of Frank's Hotdogs, so Team Chaos is going to take back control of mid, it looks like. So this is a really big thing here. The Dynamo on top mid, you want your backliner or just long-range weapons on top mid because they can support all the aggressive players on the front, and it's just so hard to dislodge you.
You know, Dynamo's a weapon that's kind of, it's in a weird spot because it's a very strong weapon. It's the best that it's been since the game came out, but the Fizzy Bomb exists. And as long as the Fizzy Bomb exists, it is very difficult for the Dynamo. Of course, that has been a classically strong position for the Dynamo. Slowly but surely, Frank's Hotdogs moves to take it back, and they do take the lead as well.
Yeah, but overall, this game's been really back and forth. You see the Booyah Bomb actually slowing down Frank's Hotdogs on the push back in. But these bubbles and a couple other specials coming out from Team Chaos is really going to put a damper on Frank Hotdog's plan.
They've been trading specials and control of this tower almost exclusively this entire game. We're about 90 seconds in right now, and it's still just, again, they're throwing all of their specials right at the center, and that's why the game is so close. I want to see one team, and it looks like with a 2-down situation, this might be their chance to move up and not sit back and wait for the opponent to come to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Black Belly is, if you don't push up into the opponent's base, I feel like you just let them come back in for free. Basically, you can't have your whole team huddling up top. But this place Rapture is in is a pretty well-defended spot, but actually the Inkjet from Xenia is going to get that kill and help Team Chaos take back zone.
And now Xenia is going to get to push up here. This is one of the reasons that people still don't like this map. You can push all the way up if you want. I would have liked to have seen Xenia move up and support Tech there. That was a little bit of miscoordination. And almost making the best out of it there was Xenia, but instead it's going to be a lot of specials. One zone is going to flip, and that should be both zones going there right now.
Yeah, so good job on the special coordination coming in from Frank's Hotdogs. We saw Xenia up on their own, but if you don't group up with your teammates there, you can get surrounded from like every single angle.
All right, taking a look here, just over 2 minutes left on the clock. They've got a pretty good look, does Frank's Hotdogs, but again, I want to see them move forward a little bit. You see, they haven't really done a great job of pressuring, and now that they finally do move in, that's not a bad trade, but again, you're seeing them go in one by one. They need to find a way to move up together as a team while being supported. It's always about you're on a string, you're on a rubber band, and your team has to be connected.
So they got the pick on the heavy there, but not before they use their special and slow down that push. But this actually is looking pretty nice for Frank's Hotdogs here. They've got almost the zones painted, actually 2 down on both sides. So a little bit of trading going on, but the timer's ticking down, and Frank's Hotdogs is about to take the lead.
Whoa. Not just yet. Everybody painting as much as they can, and that will be a lead. Those bubbles are going to be too little too late, though they do take the zone back. The penalty is applied. Just over 90 seconds, and zone picks have been hard to come by.
Yeah, absolutely. Players have mostly been like staying outside of the zones. We've seen a bunch of specials just being tossed onto the top mid or straight into zone. So players have just been basically circling around mid for the entire game.
So you said you like playing weapons that make fun noises like the sloshing machine. Do you agree with the way that Rapture's playing? Rapture's been coming over to this right side, I think 2 or 3 times now. I think that Frank's that Team Chaos may have wisened up to it here. Do you think that's a good position to come from?
So, I mean, it's obviously like a different story when the enemy team has control of top mid, but Sloshing Machine with those angles can just do such a good job of holding down top mid. Basically, I think that the machine should be like clearing a path for the ball point to get up there. Tails nearly gets 2 picks, but Frank's Hotdogs coming out on top of this fight.
Yeah, those were huge. Even the one that he did get there, Tails, that was hugely clutch because if he'd gone down there, you could see there, they were almost through that. They were almost through their penalty, and they were about to take the lead back, so that was big. And now Rapture's going up, and this is a great position, and this is what we wanted to see. There we go. That's a good look there. Go ahead and get you that zone back.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. Wow. I think that was the Booyah Bomb blowing up that bomb, if I'm not mistaken. But that's exactly what you need to do on Black Belly. Just sharking over the edge there is just really strong. They have 6 seconds. Can Team Chaos actually take back the zone in time? They have 1, but it looks like that's going to be it.
I think that Xenia should have kept pushing forward there because as long as you have it at least neutralized, there's a chance, like even if a couple seconds one of those can swing, there's a chance that you could still go. But moving away from that, Xenia gave up that. They weren't able to control the one that they did have. And we do have Frank's Hotdogs taking that first win. Rapture up there, 13 KA, 5 very powerful splat bomb rushes.
Yeah. Overall, the teams seem like extremely on like even footing. The game was really back and forth overall. But it seemed like that one push at the ends by like Raptura really helped them seal that victory there. Yeah,
the sloshing machine. I know Kent's sloshing machine is all the rage, and for good reason, but that main weapon has never been bad, right? I mean, I think you and I talked about this a little bit earlier. It was never that the sloshing machine was a bad weapon. It's just that midline, frontline Ray didn't really have a use. Eventually, the backline Ray came into play. People weren't running 2 Rays anymore, so the sloshing machine fell out of favor in popular meta. And now the Kensa sloshing machine is back, and the sloshing machine's always been a fine weapon. It's just been, can it fit? And boy, does it fit these days.
Yeah, honestly, like the sloshing machine, I feel like I'm surprised not enough people like complained about how actually ridiculously gigantic its indirect hitbox is. But basically, sloshing machine had just been waiting for that aggressive kit because the vanilla with the Stingray, you can't really play too aggressive or else you just die with Stingray. People ran like special saver, but the Neo, you basically were just more kind of like a support with those point sensors. But with the splashdown and fizzies, you can be more aggressive than like ever before and really take advantage of the kind of combo and damage, indirect damage between splashdown, fizzy, and the machine.
It's devastating when you have to go up against all of it. Taking a look right here, I believe we're getting some things set up at the TO desk, making sure that the teams are aware of what is going on. But I like that we had a nice, consistent, even game 1. I know there at the end, Frank's Hotdog started to pull away, but that's how this game, the game of Splatoon goes, right? It's so momentum-based that it can be deadlocked forever, and then suddenly one big play opens things up, and we're moving on now. Clam Blitz, Anchovy Games. How do you feel about this as a Clam Blitz map?
1 second.
Oh.
Okay. So, can you hear that? Can they throw that on the screen? Okay. So actually, it looks like the incorrect maps were played, but they're just going to go along. They played the wrong rounds rule set, but it looks like both teams have agreed to just continue on with that map's rules.
Hooray for sportsmanship.
Absolutely. But yeah, about Clam Blitz Anchovy. This is actually, I think it's a really interesting Clam Blitz map in that it's hard to get like free pushes in for clams. You know, you can baller in, but you try to take it through like that left alley, you have so much time for everyone to just throw everything in the kitchen sink at you. It's just hard to get to the basket without really a well-coordinated team fight. But then if you do that, you can really spawn camp the enemy team while the rest of your team's getting those points on the board.
This is definitely a setup map. This is one where you have to get some sort of jump in, some sort of special push if you want to go in. You're not going to be able to accidentally find yourself with the amount of clams because, as you said, it is so easily defended. And for that reason, this is one of the maps that I very often see go to time most in Clam Blitz.
Yeah.
Given how even these two teams were, I think that's probably a safe bet to see that again. But you never know which opening will be the one that teams are able to take as far as they can.
Yeah. Given that the teams didn't seem to be like heavily spawn camping each other, I definitely agree that this game might be just more of a war of attrition. But we'll have to see what they bring in Clam Blitz on Anchovy Games. And looks like once again we see that Dynamo coming out from Vanessa, but some other interesting picks, the Kensa Rapid and the Forge, whereas a pretty similar looking comp coming out from Frank's Hotdogs.
TC, that's very, very interesting here. Typically, you don't see both a Forge and a Rapid because they tend to play at the same range and perform the same general role. It's not the most aggressive look. The reason that they're going with that is because they want bubbles and they want a baller. That is the only reason that you would run a comp like this, and it's the reason that you'd feel most comfortable with it. We will see if that pays off for them. Sometimes stacking on a special can be too much of a good thing, as Tails trying desperately to get the deal done there, but not enough there. And now we do see that baller up. This could be the makings of a push. They do almost have enough here for a power clam.
Look on the other side. Looks like actually Frank's Hotdogs themselves are getting enough for a clam, but it looks like they're just going to play defensive with it up to build up some specials and hopefully disarm Team Chaos before they push in themselves.
I would like to see Luna here just toss the ball to somebody else and then go in with the baller, or at least try to make a push for something. You see here for these last 10, 15 seconds, not a lot has been happening here. Luna has not been able to do much, and she's a frontliner. She needs to be up there making those plays. It looks like almost making the play. That was the most damage I've ever seen done to a baller in a couple seconds.
That was definitely something. There was that just popped the armor, that popped the baller just in a blink of an eye. But I think something that's really important on Clam Blitz that I don't think enough people pay attention to is that when you're like a frontline weapon or basically anything that wants to get kills or support kills, you really can't be holding the ball because that just tells the enemy where you are. You want to give your backliner that power clam to hold on to till the path's clear.
And that's been one of the fun developments in Clam Blitz, right? We've moved away from the time where everybody thinks it's just build up a baller, build up a number of power clams, and make the jump. That's too passive. You need to be able to control mid. The fundamentals of Splatoon still do apply. As we see a jump in here, oh, do they have enough clams, but I'm not sure if they have a power clam built yet. You see 9 there on it.
They just jumped right over that. They're going to pick up the loose clam, and not quite enough, actually. It looks like they tossed one.
This is a poor transaction here. I'm not sure who grabbed those clams. We saw the one with 9 swim right in, but I guess missed all the clams? There were like 10 there. How'd they miss?
Oh, God. That's really unfortunate, but a bloodbath and just bombs everywhere coming out to one side. Luna, unfortunately, is going to get blasted, and it looks like Team Chaos might just turn this back around and actually convert on that push this time. There's 24 clams on the field.
24 clams, but they still haven't built a power clam. At some point, you can't be playing neutral here in the middle. You've got to do that because you give the enemy team more time. I know that's a trade, but that's still enough to slow them down.
Yeah. So sometimes it can be nice to just hold on to 9 clams and then get the last one because they can't see where the push is coming from. But actually, meanwhile, I think one of Frank's Hotdogs pushed left into their base and is sneaking around.
We'll see. We'll see here in a second if we see that power clam in the distance get a jump off.
I see a jump. Wait, never mind.
I thought it was coming too. Let's see. Well, we did call it, right? That this would be a slow-paced game. The jump worked.
Hey.
Finally, we get some points on the board here. Raptor's going to go in. Oh, they got to be careful. They cannot allow themselves to get snowballed here from a spawn-camping bomb rush. Can Rapture find another pick? No.
Yeah. It was a good job on that jump in. Good awareness by the team to sneak it past them. But unfortunately, without more than like 1 or 2 members there, they're not going to survive too long. So they get on the board, but that's going to be about it. As Vanessa jumps in themselves to hopefully start a push for Team Chaos.
This is the good look. They have their specials at the ready. Okay, that armor's going to help. The armor is going to allow that Dynamo Roller to swim up, but the bubbles are too disconnected right now. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get up to them, and they are not. Noodle, again, with a fantastic defense. They're going to guard that claim with their lives.
I was about to say, it seems like they're having a hard time really dislodging Noodle there. Zenny gets a pick and gets another one on Luna, but without any follow-up, they're just going to have to play more defense before it turns from bad to worse. Tech was a nice kill there in mid, though.
Disconnection really has been the name of the game so far. We've seen a couple opportunities. I feel like Team Chaos should be winning this by a fair margin, but instead they find themselves needing to make a play here. Once again, they do have more than enough clams to make this play happen.
Oh, that's 2 down.
This bubble's going to be their last chance.
If 2 down in bubbles, unfortunately,
Tails
gets 2. Tails goes down, but they have the power clam. They need to get this in right now. This and one more. Vanessa's the only one left alive. Here
come the jumps. This armor needs to go. They need to pop the armor now. Okay, there goes the armor. Good timing. They have to get their frontliner. Watch the flank on the left side.
Oh, all these bombs are making it hard for Vanessa to get in, and time's ticking down. They have an opening, but the ballpoint's still watching.
The ballpoint, the last one. Xenia has to get there.
Oh! My goodness.
Another second, another half a second on the clock, and they could have pulled that off.
Oh, gosh. Dude.
Wow.
Man, that was quite a game.
Tails and Noodle doing just enough to keep themselves alive in that game. If Tails had gotten that triple, I was about to yell, Tails never fails. I will instead try to save that one for another time this set, but...
Tails keeping us on the rails.
Oh, man, there's a lot of words that rhyme with Tails.
Yeah.
But Frank's Hot Dogs up 2-0 now. It's been very, very close games right now. That last one, half a second separating victory from defeat. We move on to Rainmaker on the Reef. And what used to be one of the scariest Rainmaker maps, I feel now is one of the more measured and difficult ones.
Yeah, so Rainmaker Reef, basically, since the revamp, has just... Basically, it's just grown in size multiple times. Basically, the alley along the side, it's still a viable path, but it's not basically the only path to quick points. Because, like the other modes in Rainmaker in Reef, I think taking control of Bridge can be really important because you can just make the little jump up there for like 50 points pretty quickly if you get a couple picks.
And mentioning Bridge, always important to keep control of on this map. This is one of the fastest moving modes in the game, but fundamentals of Splatoon still apply, right? If you have a midliner, backliner, push them up on the bridge. Push them up on the bridge. Find a way to move everybody else up with that, and then slowly but surely encroach on the opponent. You can spawn camp here pretty well, especially if you stack a couple inkjets. But at that point, if you're spawn camping, you probably have the game firmly in control. And I don't think we're going to see that from either of these teams. If there is one thing we have not seen from these teams, it has been dominating control. It has been a very back and forth war of attrition in both games, and I don't see that changing here.
Yeah, I definitely think the same thing. I feel like we might have a little war for just kind of pushing points up that little suicide ramp, just straight through mid. But we'll have to see what happens. As without a full wipe, it could be difficult to get a lot of points on the board.
Taking a look right here. No need to change the general roles much on either side. This is more or less what we've seen this entire time. Yeah. I am interested here. Neither side is running an inkjet, and I understand that inkjet has fallen out of favor somewhat. I still think it's very powerful on this map. That verticality, it's so important to be able to play with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, Rapture getting a nice pick there, and I think they're going to get into the alley.
This way. No, not this way. Instead, let's go that way. But I can understand why they went that. That was beautiful, the way that they coordinated that push. But one Dynamo, the last one alive, happened to be in the one spot they needed him least.
You'd think it'd be hard to hide that weapon in ink, but Vanessa really showing us otherwise. They're actually able to stop the push before it turns from bad to worse here. 2 down, 3 down actually on the side of Frank's Hot Dogs. But that Stingray perhaps a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, there's
only one member left.
There is, and it happens to be dualies as well. Dualies with Baller, no less. So, oh my god!
Oh man, Vanessa just crushing them.
All right, everybody. Well, there you go. Everyone's trying to figure out how to counteract the Baller meta. We really just need to run 4 Dynamos. That's what'll do it for us.
Yeah. Man, it's a really nice little strategy there. Getting the swing into the roll.
We're seeing a lot of control from Frank's Hot Dogs. So they were the ones that had that initial push, but we see 4 specials there on the side of Team Chaos, all of them getting fired pretty quickly here, but only one member of Frank's Hot Dogs went down in that exchange.
Wow.
Oh, now it's 3. Now that I say only one, now it's 3.
Yeah, that Stingray from Vanessa just completely tore apart that push from Frank's Hot Dogs here. And it looks like Team Chaos is going to be back ready to push again. Unfortunately, they don't have too much map control, and they seem to be a little bit slow on the push back in. So Team Frank's Hot Dogs could just get back map control on the bridge here.
Yeah, they need to push somebody up there with Xenia. I would like to see Vanessa move up a little bit here, because you saw their frontliner up there already went down in that situation before Xenia could get over, and Vanessa wasn't there to support that even then. So earlier when we talked about how difficult it can be for teams to be coordinated when they're pickups, I think that really has become the name of the game here as this set is worn on, and Frank's Hot Dogs, with their experience together, are starting to make the more coordinated pushes.
Yeah, Vanessa once again basically just single-handedly stopping like all of the pushes in this game. But as you're seeing, it looked like that entire time Team Chaos was trying to push that alley, but they were making it like pretty obvious when they were sitting in their street. They're like, I'm definitely going to go left, I'm definitely going to go left. And I think basically left becomes strongest when the other team isn't expecting you to go there.
Right.
So like Frank's Hotdogs had all the time in the world to really set up 2 or 3 members in this alley and stop the push like they did there.
And it's always a battle of deception. It's very easy to defend if you know exactly what the opponent is trying to do. Earlier in that big push that opened up, I know it seems a long time ago, but what happened is they had sent 2 people to the left and 2 people to the center. So again, sometimes you have to be creative with the pushes that you're making.
Yeah, definitely. But Team Frank's Hotdogs actually seems to be getting stuck on their street a little bit. The Stingray is going to take them down, and this actually could be a counter push, but 3 go down. 3 down on Frank's Hotdogs. There's the last one. Vanessa actually going to clean them up here.
Vanessa needs to get to the center here and needs a little support in doing it.
Uh-oh. Is Xenia watching?
I love the idea that Rapture was going for there, assuming that one would be coming for the flank, but nobody did that this time.
Yeah, sometimes you just turn yourself around to shoot to give yourself that little bit of extra momentum. And actually 4 specials coming out on the side of Team Chaos here. Those bubbles popped a little bit in a weird spot. They get a nice pick of the Rainmaker, and that's 2 down. This could really be a good push for Team Chaos.
It can. They need to find a way to get their front runner again. Vanessa's stuck back here, and there's just a little bit too much time being taken to make this push. That's going to allow the frontliners and the Stingray to come up here to slow it down. This counter ray needs to be a win.
Yeah, once again, 2 down, 3 down, it looks like on the side of Frank's Hotdogs, and they could really get another push here. I keep saying this, but the Heavy's getting pushed back. The Heavy gets killed here. If they take it around the left side, they could get the lead.
They're going to run it up there. They went down too quickly. I think it's going to get stopped. They went down. They ran into the same bomb.
Man, all of that indirect damage coming out for Frank's Hotdogs was able to finally stop that push.
Every single game there's been an opportunity that they have just been one misstep away from getting, and all they're going to have to do is run the clock down. I don't even need to think they run this back to the middle.
Yeah, but looks like they died in the middle there, and they go 3 down, and once again, Team Chaos has another shot at this. They have a baller on the Imperius who could be looking to camp this Rainmaker, but they pop it a little bit early, and they need to really, this is just a battle against time. They need to get the lead before Stingray comes out.
Yeah, and
really,
you see there, it's coming up quick. 65 already, you can see there on the top right. 70, they're taking entirely too much time. They need to find a pick, but one goes down, and the Doolies are going to do what the Doolies do.
Ooh.
Doolies do things.
Yeah.
Frank's Hotdogs, 3-0. But one of those classic close 3-0s, right?
Yeah.
You know that term, the old close 3-0. But really there, you can look at instances where Team Chaos had the opportunity to push in, as we see Vanessa there, 17 KA, a fantastic individual performance, where if the coordination was just a little bit better, I think they could have won all 3 of those games. But we talked about it earlier. Pickup team versus a team that has played together, sometimes that coordination makes all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.